you under my skin. I've tried so not to give in. I said to myself, this affair ain't never gonna go too well. But why should I try to resist?
Hey, welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for listening to Piece of Chaos. I appreciate you being here, listening. I've gotten feedback in the last couple days, which is just weird. I don't know. It's great. It's great. I'm really enjoying it, and I hope this one is good for you today. I thought I would talk about something called breakthrough therapy, specifically with regard to the work that I've done with MAPS, which is the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. They are bringing forward MDMA for PTSD, MDMA-assisted psychotherapy for PTSD, and they've had incredible results, which resulted in a New York Times article recently. Just incredible stuff. And MAPS received something from the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, who approves drugs and pharmaceuticals for therapy. And I sometimes forget that I've been in this industry for a long time. There's things that people just don't know about how this stuff works. And so the process is long and arduous, and something that's pretty amazing is when something is incredible and the results are, really astounding, you're granted breakthrough therapy, which means they're going to try and get a lot of people to look at this and see that this is going to do incredible for folks. So a couple of years ago, I actually wrote an article about this in the MAPS newsletter journal, the MAPS journal, the MAPS bulletin. It was a spring 2018 MAPS bulletin. So it's written better than my stream of consciousness about it. So I'm going to read that to you, and then if you guys have questions or whatever, you can find me on social and reach out. But I'll have great links in the show notes. Besides the article itself. So here it goes. Breakthrough therapy designation, streamlining the path to approval. What springs to mind when you hear the word breakthrough? The light bulb, the printing press, the telephone, nuclear fission? What about fire? What about consciousness itself? That's more like it. When did we wake up? In all likelihood, immediately following our becoming conscious was our awareness of trauma, danger, pain, and suffering. Whether it's the trauma of being born and entering the world, watching those around us leave the world through disease or other hardship, hordes of pillaging marauders, horse archers, tiger attacks, or the existential threat of life itself, life is suffering. For as long as we have been conscious beings, we have had to deal with trauma, both physically and mentally. Therefore, discovering a method paired with a molecule, MDMA-assisted psychotherapy, that can heal trauma of the mind, in this case post-traumatic stress disorder, is by nature healing suffering, easing suffering, changing the human condition. That is not only a breakthrough, but a miracle of science, nature, and multidisciplinary collaboration. Quoting Richard Carter's History of the Discovery of the Polio Virus, Steven Pinker points out that on the day it was announced, people observed moments of silence, rang bells, honked horns, blew factory whistles, fired salutes, took the rest of the day off, closed their schools or convoked fervid assemblies therein, drank toasts, hugged children, attended church, smiled at strangers, and forgave enemies. The discovery of the polio virus. Perhaps it's time to understand the level on which this new breakthrough will change the human experience. In addition to healing individuals with PTSD, the ripple effect of mending this type of trauma on families, acquaintances, and even strangers is going to be exponential and likely immeasurable. Maybe it's worth considering a day off to celebrate as a species. No gifts or cards, just a celebration of science and achievement in improving the human condition. Many breakthroughs come in the form of multidisciplinary endeavor. No wonder that the first time in human history that a psychedelic compound has been run through a scientifically rigorous clinical trial process, it's been with a multidisciplinary approach, combined with the unstoppable will of one man, Rick Doblin, combined with the compelling mission, and so many other reasons. In August, this would have been August of 2017, the MAPS, Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, was granted breakthrough therapy designation by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for treatment of PTSD with MDMA-assisted psychotherapy. That, in and of itself, is a breakthrough for thorough, well-communicated, and transparent scientific rigor. That's a small nonprofit organization was able to make that happen. It's even more astounding. Here's what I know for sure based on my experience. It is really, really hard to get a drug approved. Years of rigorous science, years of rigorous analysis, years of rigorous planning and brain power. To watch MAPS work towards its mission is to witness the coming together of the right minds, the right ideas, the right conversations, the right circumstances over and over and over again, every step of the way. MAPS is all about synchronicity and willpower. From the organization's humble beginnings and mission of human wellness, it's achieved the legitimacy that comes with this type of recognition from a federal health authority. By pursuing the scientific, federally regulated route to legitimizing psychedelic therapy, MAPS is using the rules of the system to break new ground. This required following the rules and also knowing what questions to ask along the way. MAPS challenges authority with a thoughtful and fact-based approach, instead of just rebellion for rebellion's sake. This attitude has enabled MAPS to get answers to questions that have not been asked before, since nobody else has brought this substance through the process. Any number of hurdles were overcome due to the right effort by the right people, many of whom genuinely have had a personal interest in the outcome because of their own experiences with trauma, mental illness, or even just psychedelics. Is there something to be said for a personal breakthrough that comes through the psychedelic experience having an impact on understanding fundamentally what a drug does? This is another part of the breakthrough of MDMA-assisted psychotherapy, that many of the therapists in the Phase 3 trials have actually had the chance to experience the treatment themselves in MAP's ongoing therapist training protocol. So how many of the scientists that are studying current psychiatric medicines and their effects on the human psyche know what it's like to use these treatments themselves? Actually, when I asked a good friend and former colleague, Julie Lepan, she's currently in this field, helping folks with cancer, and I talked to her about breakthrough therapy designation, and her response spoke volumes. And she's been in this business a long time. I mean, she's amazing. Her response was like, "It's a pretty big deal. BTD reflects the FDA." This is her quote. "BTD reflects the FDA's assessment that the early data provided are outstanding. Knock your socks off," as I heard one reviewer describe the need, "and likely reflect a significant therapeutic advance. In having BTD, they commit to working closely with the sponsor to progress the new therapy because of this perceived advancement, so that patients in need can get early access to it." So there's an exciting and daunting future ahead for the MAPS Public Benefit Corporation. I spoke about that in a previous episode. There's a tremendous responsibility to carry out the mission of the organization with ethics, integrity, transparency, and social good for all mankind. MPBC has the heart of a nonprofit with the structure of a for-profit business, anchored to a social benefit mission to change the way humans heal from trauma. So MAPS and MAPS Public Benefit Corporation had already attained legitimacy through the diligence and perseverance of the team at MAPS, as well as the undeniable efficacy of the treatment we've seen so far in Phase 2 trials. But progress through protocol reviews and favorable results in small studies are typical in early stages of drug development, sometimes even through later stages for products moving through the regulatory life cycle. By highlighting the treatment through BTD and distinguishing it among other treatments, It's something very special. As a founding board member of MPBC and an advocate of the work that MAPS has done since 1986 to bring this to this point, I couldn't be prouder to be associated with this progress. I mean, PTSD and mental illness have touched my family in a real way, and I'm proud to imagine a day in the not-so-distant future where this treatment will be readily available for those in need. So where will MAPS be in 50 years? Well, in one of my favorite books about long-term thinking, called The Clock of the Long Now by Stuart Brand, he points out and outlines how a thought experiment spawned innovation. The idea is of humankind facing the complex yet simply stated question, how would we build a clock that would last 10,000 years? Well, where would we put it? How would we tell others who came after us how to maintain it? Where do we get replacement parts? This barely scratches the surface of some of the questions Brand explores. The yield is technology, innovation, and breakthroughs of all kinds simply because that's what humans do. Why we try to solve problems, as Steven Pinker points out in Enlightenment Now. Progress is an outcome not of magic, but of problem solving. That's what humans do. MAPS is trying to solve a big problem, the problem of healing trauma. We now have institutional proof that what many have thought for a long time could be a breakthrough of infinite importance can be officially filed with paperwork and everything as a breakthrough with a capital B, and that's a big deal. Yeah. So that sums it up pretty well, I'd say. And yeah, it's weird to read that, but it still rings true, and we are progressing forward. I would encourage you to check out the New York Times article. I'll post in the show notes, and I'll link to the article because there's a really good graphic in there that they like an infographic that explains just how crazy rare breakthrough therapy is. So, if PTSD has touched your life, I would look it up at maps.org. Look into this, read about it. It's pretty amazing work, and yeah. With that, I'm gonna sign off for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. It really means a lot, and I appreciate you. So, hope you have a great week.